First G Farmer. We are back. We've been on break for a long time. We thought the break was only going to last 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks turned into 2 months. But we back. We've been tired. If we look tired, it's because we really is tired. What we been doing?
I'm tired.
What we been working on? Everything.
Planting, making soap.
Yeah. We playing
raising
it.
Kids.
Homeschooling. Yeah. So
riding back and forth to ballet.
Ballet practice, piano practice.
All the usual stuff.
Yeah. But it's a celebrate because we get to do it and we happy to do it. Yeah, even though we look tired.
And some extra stuff.
Well, we did a pop-up. That was different. We did a pop-up. That was out of our element. And it was fun. We sold a lot of soap. We sold some eggs. And the chef that hosted the pop-up was the person that bought the eggs. We only had 2 dozen eggs. And at first I was like, don't nobody want no eggs. I'll just leave these little 2 dozen eggs here. But something inside me was like, go on and take your little 2 dozen eggs and see what happened. I mean, at least you get to sell them. And turns out the sale went to the chef. So it was a sale and a connection for us because that's somebody that we look forward to doing business with. That's a partnership. It's a win. So don't ever think that your little 2 measly things that you may have isn't enough. It was more than enough. It was enough to make the right connections with the right people. No, they weren't measly eggs. Our eggs are the best eggs because they from us. Not, from our chicken, so they the best. Not from us, but So yeah, I mean, but it was a lesson for me to stop playing with my own potential and underestimating what I have. Because what I have literally is enough for what I need to do, for what my purpose is. Yeah. But yeah, we've been planting and raising kids, and we've been talking to our cousin, the herbalist.
I know it.
Right. Our cousin Kathryn Thomas. Mm-hmm. She is the family herbalist.
That's one business connection that I'm the most excited about. I would say that.
Definitely. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're starting a partnership with her. And what Kathy does is she makes teas, herbal remedies for things that are common for especially people in our culture. Mm-hmm. High blood pressure, anxiety, cold and flu symptoms. She is well versed on all the natural herbs and all the remedies that she can customize for most common conditions is what I'll say. I ain't gonna say any because I ain't gonna say she can't cure cancer. I ain't gonna say she
healing hands. She got blessed hands.
Yeah, because I'm sure she probably could mix up a little razzle and dazzle and come up with a cancer cure. I don't know. I'm not putting no limits.
I think she has a razzle dazzle tea for real. I think she does.
Boom.
Mm-hmm. Because nobody that knows our family should be hungry
sick, or bald head.
Right.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, so they ain't going to be hungry because we got the food. They ain't finna be sick because Cousin Kathy, the herbalist, is going to make sure that we right and tight. Mm-hmm. Now, the bald head part.
They ain't going to be bald head because they can get some of that soap.
Right, we got
some of that shampoo bars that I make
for the thinning
herbs.
Because it's been helping me with the thinning. I have the thinning going on in the front, with locks and thin hair. It's just it'll have you back here with your hairline. I ain't quite back here yet. I'm like right here. I think once it gets to my ear, I think I'm gonna let the thing go. I think I done all I can do because I've been locking how many 15 years, 20 years now. I ain't got nothing else to prove. So, I mean, when my hairline go right back here, it's over. I don't know what the next hairstyle is. We're going to see. I'm going to have to get some more hats. But, so talking to Kathy, we interviewed her and asked her a few questions just to show us some things that we could learn about anger management, stress management, because Kathy is also a certified anger management counselor.
Right.
So, we talked about some things about meditation and about just redirecting all of that stress,
My name is Kathryn Thomas. Everyone calls me Kathy.
You know, me and you had talked about the beekeeping thing, and I know you
Yes.
love bees. So, what are some of the benefits of the honey?
There was a time when I used the honey it was primarily in part for like a lip scrub that I have. But I did know, my Marlene told me a long time ago, you need to try to get you some, she said anything within a mile. I suffer from allergies. Anything within a mile, she said, where the bees could go and come back. She said, and I hated it as a kid because it wasn't sweet, but I felt better, just going through like summers with like no honey. I remember, how come I can't get it in the winter? Because they didn't do their thing in the winter. And I buy honey from people. Some of that honey I get is so good, but then some of it I get is loaded with sugar and it sets my soul on fire. So it's kind of like one thing led to another. With me, I ate some honey full of sugar. It gave me a yeast infection. What I didn't want to do is go pay somebody $45. So Uncle RV had this real big book that he used to have, which he handed it off to someone in the neighborhood. But I remember, some of those things. So I went and bought like my own little book. And I remember some of the things my Marlene used to say, and talk about. She was always talking about certain things like mullein and chamomile. She would go out here in the yard and pick up stuff, but I never did. I ain't eating that and I ain't drinking that, Yeah. But all I knew was most of these things tasted so much better than some castor oil. And those times that I would miss the honey, I would be sick. After my granddad passed, I really didn't know anyone. So you just go back to that over-the-counter stuff, which always made me sleepy. But you do whatever you got to do. So I want my own, so I can make my own honey. I had to buy some honey to make some honey spoons. I had to buy it from somebody else. But if I had my own, if there's any beekeepers out there need some hosts, I'll do it for you right here in Parrish, Alabama.
Hey,
bring them here and set them up. I got some. Yes.
You work with bees now, right?
Well, yeah, I go over to a greenhouse here, Richard Ford's, and he has like 6 or 8 of those little hives out there. And there was like his, I think he said there was like a bee beetle or something got in a couple of hives. So his bees weren't able to produce, for a while, but he had some last summer, and I was that was scary and fun all at the same time.
Tell us something we don't know about bees. Tell us something that we don't know about bees.
That smoke don't always work. When you have
Okay.
Yeah, that smoke don't always work. That's the best I got on them bees.
So Kathy, with your teas, do you have something for like stress or like anxiety? Okay.
I do.
Tell me what you feel. What are your thoughts about mental health and like anger management? Give us some tips on how to handle these situations that we be in sometimes.
Okay. Well, I'm currently in the middle of teaching an anger management class now. And one thing that I always try to encourage all of my, students to do, hey, mama, find a hobby. If you don't do anything but go outside and walk around barefooted, if it's singing your favorite song, if you run around the block, it's easy to say, that textbook says walk away, but sometimes walking away, you walk away to do what? Right. What you gonna do when you get there? Right. Now you standing there looking around. But if you can find something that you can connect to, whether it is listening to those birds, walking around, grounding yourself barefooted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go talk to a tree. It might say something. It might whisper something back to you. You will be surprised.
Yes.
Yoga, meditation. I know it's not for, and some be looking at me like, what? So that's when I throw that strike out to running down the street. Not see how many push-ups you can do.
Right.
Climb a hill back. I don't know. Push a car. I don't know. If you don't want to do it the easy, calm way. I mean, that's just, you can read, but it's really kind of hard to read when you're upset. Those things.
I love it.
That's so good.
I love it.
Okay.
I just got introduced to meditation in a serious way this year. And it really has been a blessing because it's something that I have that I don't have to go get, that I can, I don't have to go wait for somebody to bring it. I don't need money to go get it. I got it right here. If I can get to it
within yourself, yep.
Like if I just
That's
take 5 minutes and get back to me, I'm good. Yeah.
But I love what she said.
I call
everybody's different.
Yeah.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it just, some people are still so wide open, that you can't take a minute to ground yourself. Walk outside. Oh, that hurt. Sit down, be still, be quiet. Right. So for those that's got to go some breaks. I mean, I'm not being, just whatever it is that you have to do to alleviate that certain level of stress, in my mind, that screaming, I say punch a pillow, that just teaches you to be teaches you good at being angry, because you can just scream a little loud. But I figure if you're not working your mind, might as well work your body. If that means pick up some bricks, run. If you can breathe, you can do anything. Somebody might be quicker than you, but they might get tired before you do it. You got that wind on your side. It'll work out in your favor. Push-ups. What I'm doing these push-ups for, because mind, body, spirit it's all the same. Yeah. Well, different things, but you have to work them all.
Right.
You have to. And I just don't think that I just don't think a pill in a bottle is I just don't like that. Make you feel bad. I see it makes you feel bad, and then one day that one isn't enough.
Right.
But then when you're pills there's a median between, oh my gosh, my mind is just racing to I can't do nothing, that pill got.
Right. Right.
Something I like to call natural Xanax, because it will, but you won't do this, but you gonna be like, what?
That's what I
Let
need.
Me get some of that too.
That's what I need. Yes.
So what made you want to take those ideas and turn them into a business?
Broke.
That's as good a reason. Right.
Seriously. I remember actually this whole like you said, for years I've been making teas and things. Y'all know how long Mama Elaine been gone. And when Mama lived and that was where I got sick up there one day, and I had to be back like that. I drove up there for a visit, had to be at work the next day, and I caught the flu. And Mama Elaine was telling Mama to go get some stuff in the freezer that Mama didn't even know was in there. And she did, and it was so stinking, because I don't like the smell of pine needles, pine straw. That stuff was so stinking. And I had to drink it while it was hot. And y'all, like 2 hours later, I didn't even know I'd been sick. But it didn't stick. I mean, I was like, what? Then I had some nephews living here. Everybody had a sinus issue or problem. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. I knew what clove could do. I knew what cinnamon could do.
Mhm.
And I kind of knew what, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to make some cough syrup. You know, Teron, we had that, the rock candy. And see, when you can't find that stuff, you got to try to, because I ain't taking you to the doctor, Khalil. You know, you better go in there.
Right.
You know, gee, my allergy. Wait, here, take this. You just, and it just kind of from that year, you know, and then I found stuff interesting. There's a good friend of mine named Laura. I call her the Jesus lady. This girl can walk a mile down the road, and every flower or weed in my mind, she could tell you what it was and the benefit. And I was like, what? Found it to be so interesting. I done got stung by bees and she done rubs. What I mean, it was wild. So I was like, well, let me try some things, because you know I had a few issues of my own. So I started reading up on different little things, and I was like, well, let me try this. And I was like, well, okay, I'm good, but I wanted to. But you know, you just can't walk up to nobody and say, hey, hand somebody a bag of weeds, you know, and say, hey, take this and make some tea with it, drink it, and tell me.
Well,
Drink it.
mhm.
So I would wait until I was talking to most of my cousins, you know, some of my friends talking. They said, oh, girl, such and such. I was like, hey, I think I got something for that.
Right.
So I, you know, hey, I think I got, and I was, you know, and let me know if it works. A couple of things I tried on myself, and then, you know, I'd be listening. And then they just kept coming back and kept coming back. And I'm like, wait, what? So that is how that anger management thing, I got laid off from a job. I need money. And I was like, let me go get this certification and see how I can connect it, you know, out here. And that's it.
Now, what do you say is your thing that helps you keep going? Like when you run into a situation like with your business venture that you had, that situation that you had happen, what's your go-to thing that helps you keep going? Like I call it grit, but you know, what's your thing?
You call it grit?
Yeah. What helps you keep going?
To let people know, or let that situation, you didn't stop nothing. You just slowed me down. So that I don't know what, maybe it's the fact that I don't like to lose. And I like the fact that I do something, there is something that I can do that makes people feel better. If they're open and receptive, you know, to it, and it's just like every day, because I know I'm destined to be great. I don't know what it is, but I think I always felt like I'm supposed to be doing more than what I was doing. But what I felt like I was supposed to be doing, it wasn't acceptable by them, you know. So just shut up and keep, but now I don't care no more. Either you will or you won't.
Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.
And leave a comment. Follow us on all other socials at First G Farmer. Thank you guys.